So you want to acquire a business, one that pays you a 6 or 7 figure salary from day number. But who has all that cash, 6 figures worth, just lying around ready to invest? Not many people, especially not many people that I know, I can tell you that. So is it possible to buy a business without using your own money and just use other people's money? It's a great question. This is something I want to address once and for all, because a lot of the advice out there on the internet is oversimplified and even dangerous if you try to pull it off. And I don't want you to fall for any of the marketing hype that you're seeing out there. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kevin. At Top Acquire, we help entrepreneurs, professionals, and investors acquire online businesses to diversify their portfolios and build location-independent lifestyles. Okay, so the big question we started off with. Buying a business with literally no money. Is it possible? Well, first, let's explain what most people really mean when they say no money down, because in most cases, it's not what most people think it means. A lot of the hype and marketing out there is saying that you can approach a seller who has a $1 million business for sale and tell them, hey, I'm ready to buy your business, but instead of giving you any of my own money, I'm going to pay you back in 5 to 10 years using the profits from the existing business. This is known as seller financing, which is a totally legitimate strategy that is used in acquisitions. And while it's theoretically possible, it comes with many hidden risks that can turn dangerous very quickly. First is working capital. Even if you don't use any of your own money to buy the business, you're still going to need working capital post-acquisition to keep the business running from day number one. For example, if it's an e-commerce business, you'll need working capital to replenish inventory. Or if it's an agency business that runs on 30-day payment terms, you're still going to need to cover the payroll and operating expenses for the first month before new revenue starts coming back in. A business with 50 employees could have $100,000 a month in payroll alone. If you're coming into a deal with literally no money, the business could immediately collapse the moment you acquire the asset. You don't want that. And then there's an even bigger concern. Any seller who genuinely agrees to sell you a business with no money, it's just a huge red flag. Just think about it for a second. If you owned a profitable, cash-flowing business, why would you hand it over to a stranger for free? Of course you wouldn't, because you'd just keep running it and make more money like any rational person would. The only scenario where sellers would give you their business for nothing is if the business is struggling. If a business has negative equity, it's practically worthless. Of course, the seller wants to get rid of it as soon as possible, wouldn't you? Or you buy it and then realize it's 6 figures in debt or facing a legal battle that you will have to deal with. Quite sure you don't want to have anything to do with that. Who would, right? We've been doing this for years, and the only no money down deal that actually exists almost always involves a business that is distressed or dying. And unless you're Carl Icahn, that's precisely the kind of business you do not want to buy if you don't have the capital buffer to absorb the losses while you turn it around. Even in highly leveraged deals where the bank lends 70%, the seller carries 20%, and you put in 10%. There are still 3 buckets of cash that you'll need before completing the acquisition. The first bucket is the equity injection, your down payment. Think of it like 10% minimum on any quality acquisition. So on a $500,000 business, that's $50,000. On a $1 million business, that's $100,000. This is what signals to the seller, the broker, and the bank that you're serious and that you have skin in the game. Even if you wanted to qualify for the SBA 7A loan that can give you up to $5 million in funding, I should say, one of the requirements is that you bring at least 10% of the deal to table at closing. If there are 15 qualified buyers for every good business on the market right now, and you show up with no down payment, you'll be on the outside looking in, and it is that simple. The second bucket is working capital. This is the money you need to keep the business operating in the weeks and months after you take over. For a $2 million business, this can be $150,000 to $200,000. You might be generating revenue from day one, but cash takes time to flow. Payroll does not wait. Suppliers do not wait. You need a buffer, and the bank will require you to have one. And number 3, the third one, is post-closing liquidity. This is money set aside for an unexpected problem after the deal closes. A key employee leaves, a piece of equipment breaks down, a client you were counting on pauses their contract. You may never need this money, but serious lenders will require you to show evidence that you indeed have it. These are just a few of the things that these no money down gurus aren't telling you. All three buckets must exist before you close a quality deal. Also, before getting a deal, we highly recommend working with a solid M&A advisor or investment banker who has genuine experience doing acquisitions that can potentially save you hundreds of thousands in costly errors and get the deal properly. So now you're probably asking yourself, can I do it all myself? Sure. But having that peace of mind and reassurance by a licensed professional is worth every single penny. Now, Kevin, I've got between $10,000 and $50,000 to invest. Is it still possible, you ask, to acquire a business? To be honest, you can't acquire an established business making any meaningful income if it's valued below $100,000. I mean, technically, you can acquire a small website or small websites making a few thousand a month, but it's usually not worth the upfront investment and the hassle that comes with it. Now, if you really want to get into business ownership with as little capital as possible, there is one legitimate entry point, and that's by licensing a pre-built business and hiring operators to scale it, for example. And this is if you decide to work with us directly. We'll set up a pre-built e-commerce or digital product business for you. We'll handle all the sourcing, setup, marketing, and scaling. You just provide the capital. We drive the profits, and we'll split it 50-50 with you. So we only get paid, you guessed it, when you get paid. This is by far the best option if you don't have six figures sitting around, but you still want to own a cash-flowing business. So, to put it simply, no money down acquisitions for quality businesses do not exist. What does exist is either you do a highly leveraged deal where you still need a down payment, working capital, and post-closing liquidity. The businesses for sale that are available for zero capital are the ones which are dying and serious buyers have already walked away from. If you're lower on capital, license a pre-built business. Hire us to scale it up on a performance basis and then use the war chest you've built to reinvest into quality acquisitions. This is how real deals get done. If you want help finding the right business, structuring the deal, and making sure you do not walk into something that looks good on paper but destroys your capital, that is exactly what we do at Top Acquire. Go to topacquire.com. Once again, I'm Kevin. I'll see you in the next one.